crazy, right? The AI is like everywhere now.
It really is.
It's not just, beating us at chess anymore.
Right.
AI is writing symphonies.
Yep.
It's designing logos.
Yeah.
It's making videos that look like totally real.
Hyper real.
Hyper real, yeah. And today, we're diving into a paper. It's called The Rise of Generative AI, Creation, Impact, and Ethics.
Okay.
And we're going to explore what it all means, for us.
It's a big one.
It's huge. So this deep dive is not just about what generative AI is doing.
Right.
It's about what it means, for our jobs, for how we can even trust information. Like, what does it even mean to be human when AI is making stuff that looks so real?
Yeah, it's really blurring the lines.
Right.
Yeah, the definition of AI itself is changing.
It is.
What's so interesting to me here is this shift, right? From AI as just a tool, like, a calculator or a spreadsheet.
Like something simple.
Yeah, to AI as a creator. We're seeing these algorithms actually produce content that's like indistinguishable from human work in some cases.
It's pretty wild. Like, I was reading this article the other day, and an AI wrote this whole marketing campaign.
Really?
For like a new pair of sneakers.
Wow.
And it was actually really good. It's catchy. I was like, dang, an AI wrote this?
Yeah.
There's even AI composed music, like it's playing on the radio.
It is. It is.
It makes you wonder, what happens to human creativity
Yeah.
when machines can just crank out art and music and like write novels.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely challenges our assumptions about what creativity even means. Some people, they might say it diminishes human creativity.
Yeah.
Others would argue it's just, redefining it for the 21st century.
I see, yeah.
Maybe human creativity will be more about guiding and shaping the output of AI.
Okay.
Collaborating with these powerful tools.
So working with AI, not against it. That's a good way to look at it. So, okay, AI is writing jingles and designing websites and all this stuff, but
Yeah.
how do we know if any of it is true?
Right.
How can we trust the information that it's giving us?
That's huge.
It's a big deal. And this paper, it talks about this problem, AI-generated misinformation.
Oh, yeah.
It can write entire articles that sound completely believable.
Totally.
Even when they're made up.
Yeah, AI doesn't have a built-in sense of what's true or false.
So,
it just processes and spits out, whatever data it was trained on.
Right.
So it can be super convincing, even when it's making stuff up.
So how do you fact check an AI?
Exactly.
Especially when they can create whole articles, videos,
Oh, absolutely.
even fake social media profiles.
Yeah.
It's getting harder and harder to tell what's real and what's not.
Absolutely. I think it all comes back to critical thinking.
Yeah.
We can't just believe everything we see, everything we read.
Especially if it's from an AI.
Yeah, especially from an AI. We need to, be a little skeptical.
Question things?
Yeah, question things. Check our sources. Look for evidence.
Okay, so AI can be a tool.
Right.
But we can't just blindly accept what it gives us.
Right.
Which brings us to another thing. Learning.
Okay.
If you're using AI, let's say, to write code, are you actually learning to code?
Right.
Or are you just letting the AI do all the work?
That's a good question. There's a huge difference between using AI to do something and actually understanding how it works.
It is.
Imagine a student using AI to write an essay. They might get a good grade.
Yeah.
But did they actually learn to research and think critically and, form their own thoughts?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's like using a calculator without knowing basic math.
Exactly.
You might get the right answer, but you didn't really learn anything.
They didn't learn the process.
Right. So if we rely too much on AI, are we going to end up with a generation that can't think for themselves?
It's a real concern.
Yeah.
We have to be really careful about how we use AI in education.
Yeah.
Make sure it's helping students learn, not replacing their learning.
Okay. So we've talked about how AI can write stuff, make stuff, even fool us.
Yeah.
What about the legal side of things?
Oh, right.
If an AI writes a hit song and it sounds exactly like another artist's work,
Yeah.
is that stealing?
That's a great question.
It's a tough one.
It is, because all our laws, they're built on the idea of humans being the creators.
Right.
So now we have to rethink, what does authorship even mean?
I see.
What about intellectual property? If an AI learns from millions of songs and then it writes a new one, is that plagiarism?
Right.
Or is that just, a new way of being creative?
That's a tough one.
It is. It's a gray area. And there aren't any easy answers yet.
Yeah.
We need to update our laws to keep up with, what AI can do.
I think so too.
And think about the rights of both human creators and the people making these AI systems.
That's a good point. Okay, get ready for this one. This is what gets a little freaky.
Okay.
The paper talks about AI creating like digital humans
Oh, wow.
that are so realistic, you can't tell they're not real.
Really?
Like, we're not talking about, those old clunky avatars from video games.
Right.
We're talking about AI that can make people that look and sound so real, it's kind of scary.
Wow. So, completely indistinguishable from an actual person.
Yeah, basically.
That's both fascinating and, like you said, a little unnerving.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder about what's real and what's not.
Holy.
What happens when you can't even tell if you're talking to a real person or an AI?
Right. Like, what happens to trust? What happens, knowing what's actually real?
It's a huge question.
It really is.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We talked about the creative potential of AI.
Right.
How it's going to change the job market.
Right.
The whole problem with misinformation.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Whether AI is helping us learn or making us lazy.
Right.
All the ethical stuff about, who owns what.
Like, if AI makes a song, who gets the credit?
Exactly. And even, what does it even mean to be human in this new world where AI can create almost anything?
I know. We started with AI writing poetry, and now we're talking about what it means to be alive.
I think the biggest thing to remember is that technology often changes faster than we can understand it.
That's true.
Generative AI is here, and it's changing everything.
Yeah.
We have to be willing to talk about it, think about it, and adapt.
So as you go about your day and you see AI popping up everywhere, ask yourself, am I using AI to make myself smarter and more creative?
Right.
Or am I letting it think for me?
That's the question.
The future of AI, it's being written right now.
It is.
And we all have a part in figuring out what it looks like.
Absolutely.
I think that's a good place to leave it for today.
Yeah, I think so too.
Thanks for listening, everybody.